Okay, hi folks, here we are, 13.75 squared. We're finding the square of the longest side. Let me get out my calculator. Oh, I actually don't quite need it yet, but it'll be helpful in a second. So 13.75 squared equals, doesn't matter which one we do first here, 8.25 squared plus 11 squared. Then let's pull this down. 13.75 squared should equal, now we can use our calculator. Move it over. 8.25 squared. I'm going to call that 68.1 plus 11 squared is 121. And I guess I could solve for 13.75 right now. Let's do it. 13.75 squared. Oops. Excuse me. There we go, 189.1. Now let's see if these two add up. 68.1 plus 121 equals 189.1. 189.1. Okay, those are equal. So this is a right triangle since the sum of the square of the two shorter sides is equal to the square of the longest side. So the square of the longest side, here we are, is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. Last, we're going to look at Pythagorean triples. This came up on our Kahoot the other day. So when three sides of a triangle meet the requirements for the Pythagorean theory, they are whole numbers. They're called a Pythagorean triple. One of the more common triples is known is the 3, 4, 5 triple. And you'll also see that as you increase these, it remains true. So if we times 3 by 2, 4 by 2, and 5 by 2, so if the triangle was 6, 8, and 10, it would still be true. If it's 9, 12, and 15, it's still true. So once you kind of recognize the 3, 4, 5 triple, you'll see even different versions of it come up as well. So in the above example, is example C a Pythagorean triple? And I'm just going to say triple. So here, is this a Pythagorean triple? I mean, they all add up. They add to each other. However, this is not a whole number. 8.25 is not a whole number, and 13.75 is not a whole number. So no. No. Since the numbers are not whole numbers. Okay. Now, let's see. Which of the following are Pythagorean triples? So, which of the following are triples? Well, I asked that again. Maybe I'll take that out on yours. So now we basically have to figure out, does a squared plus b squared equal c squared? And how do you identify which one is the c? Okay, so I'm going to write here, c is always the longest. Okay, that's going to be our hypotenuse. So our c is always going to be the biggest of the three. So we need to figure out, does 8 squared plus 15 squared equal 18 squared? Okay, and if we find these two to be equal, then they are a Pythagorean triple. So let's multiply. Let's deal with this one right here. 8 squared, that's 8 times 8 is 64. Plus 15 squared, which is 225, if I'm not mistaken. Oops. Yes. And we're seeing if it is equals 18 squared. Uh, 324 equals 324. Now let's do 64 plus 225. 289. Okay, 289 does not equal 324. So this is not a Pythagorean triple. Let's try the next one. This one I think came up on our Kahoot as well, so maybe some of you already know the answer to this one, but let's check. It's interesting. This is only one bigger than 60, but we'll see if it adds up. 11 squared plus 60 squared equals 61 squared. So let's do, I know 11 times 11 is 121, plus, let's see what 60 squared is, 3,600. Equals, let's do 61 squared, 3721. And this does look like this is going to add up. 3,600 plus 121, that would be 3721. And that does equal 3721. So yes, yes, this is a Pythagorean triple. Okay, let's do practice sheet 1.6. Thanks very much, folks.